Hey guys, what's happening? So I was getting a lot of requests on a video, basically how to set up a HTML theme, how to shop one, download it, install it, and set it up, and do some quick edits. I'm not going to show you everything, but just a few basic things. Maybe in a future video, I'll show a little bit more about customizing it, maybe making a multi-page website. This one's going to be just a one page, and hosting it. For me, I host in GoDaddy, so I might make a video about going through that, how to upload it, how to host it, how to get it live on the internet. But this video is just going to be how to buy it, download it, install it, set it up, and some quick edits. So let's get started. I use a website, this one here, Theme Forest. Let me go back to the homepage and start from the very beginning. So I use Theme Forest pretty much all the time. We're using an HTML theme, so you want to go into HTML, and there's a lot of different options. The best thing to do starting off, if you're new to this, is go to popular items, and you're looking for something that has a good track record, some good reviews, a lot of downloads, and that's going to show you two things. One, it's probably got really good support. If you got issues, you can contact these people and they'll write back fast. On the themes that have only sold 50 copies, they're going to be a lot slower to respond. These bigger ones generally have a pretty good support team. You'll get an answer within, 24 hours. You're also looking for, obviously, good reviews, preferably nearly totally 5 stars. Again, it's just showing you this is a good theme, it's good code. You don't want to download a theme and figure out, after spending 20-30 hours building something that it's got a lot of issues. It takes a lot more time to build a good website when you're working off a theme that isn't that good. So when you look at these themes, there's two main kinds. You got these themes here, which you can see from the little picture. They're like admin themes, basically for building software products, SaaS products, different stuff. Not really what we're after. We're more looking for things like this. So you can see from the picture, they're for setting up business websites, maybe for an app, maybe for, well, whatever, just lots of different purposes. This is one. When this loads, this is probably another one. This is an admin one. So you kind of get a feel, they're all mixed in here together. Yeah, some of these I've used quite a lot. This is one that is really nice. I've used this a few times. There's one particular theme that I'm going to use today. It's one that I probably use the most. It's not actually on the popular page, but it's good. So just search for this. So it's this theme here, which is the Satyr Creative Multipurpose. So if we click in here, we can have a look. Basically, for most themes on Theme Forest, it's going to be the same setup. You get a first page, you land. It's going to tell you some basic kind of sales stuff, why you should pick their theme. Best thing to do is go straight ahead into the live preview. Just start playing around, get a feel for what it looks like, the different kind of things that the theme has. Most themes have a few pre-built kind of templates. So for these guys, they got a few mobile versions. They got one for a web app. They got actually 3 barbershop ones, some agency ones, travel agency, restaurant. And these are all, if you go up the top here, well, it doesn't say, but these are multi-page ones. So when you download, these are pre-coded as if you're going to add in additional pages, not just one page, maybe like 4 pages, maybe 10, but they're coded towards being a multi-page website. For us, just starting off, I'm just going to use a one page. So you can see here, these are one-page concepts or just one-page designs. And I'll show you in a second what the difference is. So for us, I'm going to pretend that we've got a job. It's for somebody who's like an engineer, maybe an architect, something on like the building side of, building industry basically. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have a look at this theme. So the difference, what I was just saying, the difference between a multi-page website and a one-page website is generally the menu. This menu is coded to keep you on the same page. So if I press services, it's going to go down to services. If I press about, it's going to go down. If I press work, it's going to go down again. and contact down the very bottom. So on a multi-page website, this will be pre-coded for your additional pages. So if I click this, it would go to a services page, not to a services section. And the same way across, this would go to an about page, work page. And you could delete one of these, make it a 4-page website. You could add in 2 extra and make it a 7-page, whatever. For us today, we're just going to do a 1-page. So you look at a theme, you basically want to have a good look, see that it's good code, that it's a good design, and that you're going to be happy with it. You can always customize these once you download it. I recommend customizing them once you know what you're doing. But you want to start off from a solid base. You don't download something and then later figure out that you got a lot of issues, and basically it takes a lot more time to end up with a good website. So the way to do that is just have a quick look through, get a feel for all these different sections. So here you got a review section, testimonials, check everything's working well. These images here, so these are going to link out to different websites. We can change that afterwards. This work thing, this does have a little counter here if I reload the page. Give this a second. I gotta go back to the very beginning. So this. If I reload the page, you will see this thing starts counting. I'm not a huge fan of these. They tend to age your website quite badly. And what I mean is you build a website for a customer, you put this in here, and this isn't, because it's HTML, this isn't going to automatically update. So after 1 week, this number is the same. After 3 weeks, it's still the same. After 2 years, it's the same, unless you go in and manually change it. So it kind of looks a little bit tacky. I think it looks bad. A lot of websites have things like this. You can just delete them or we can change them. But not something I'm fond of. I'll leave that up to yourself though. So here we got a section with a few different like past projects, which would be perfect for building a website for a construction company, an engineering company. That's something we want to show off. So you want to check what, that does nothing. You want to check what each of these buttons do. This one does nothing, so we can code that to something else later. Maybe we can change that to get a quote, and we can link it to go to the contact section down here at the bottom. Because we're keeping this simple. We don't want to build a multi-page. This is trying to link to another page, but we can change that. Here we got some more past projects. So these ones, if I click on them, it's basically just bringing up a photo album, a light box is what people call this, and different projects. So that's quite nice. It looks good. Also, you want to check, and a quick way to do this, you want to check what looks good on a mobile phone, what looks good on the tablet as well. So when you're doing this, just make your browser smaller like this, and you can see how the design will roughly look on a phone. You get a different menu on a phone. It's like a side menu. You get a feel for different device sizes. At the moment I'm using a monitor, so it's like the biggest size that this thing's going to be programmed for. So anyway, you got these 6 past projects, you got this contact section. Preferably if I was building this for a client, I'd probably go ahead and then add in an email form here and a map. This time around I'm going to keep this pretty simple. I won't do that. I'll show you in another video maybe. But they do have the email here, and they have the phone number, which for this site, we'll just say that that's enough. So once you're happy with the theme, I had a look through, everything looks good, you want to go ahead and basically buy it. For me, I've already bought this, but I might as well just buy it again to show you how to do it. So I'm going to add it to cart, go to checkout. I'm going to use PayPal. Hopefully this doesn't give away too much personal details. There's my PayPal. Cool. So you've gone ahead, you paid for this, and you want to download it basically. And it's going to download just as a zip file. So this might take not too long. If you didn't get this automatic download, you can always go up here. You go to your downloads, and you're gonna have. I've already ordered quite a few. You're gonna have it here somewhere. Here's the one I ordered today. I've already used this theme a few times. You can just download it from there. So this thing's pretty much downloaded. It should pop up here in a second. What you're going to do first is you're going to make a little job folder. So let's say you're building this for, I don't know, Jeff Construction. So you're going to set up your job folder here. You're going to uncompress this. Set the two of these up side by side. So go ahead, open this. This is just an empty folder. And with this is your theme. So go ahead, open this up. Every theme is going to be a little bit different. They're going to have like different folders here, a slightly different setup, but they all are pretty similar. Whatever folders you have, there's basically going to be one, which I already know it's this one. It's going to hold all the code. The other folders are just going to hold different stuff. So for this one, has these PSD files, which we don't need, and it's got some documentation about how to set it up and different stuff. Basically, I'm going to show you that anyway. And in here, you got the HTML, the actual, code that we're going to go ahead and use to build this website. So you can already see you got these pages of HTML, and then you got these folders with different stuff. So the first step you should do is arrange by kind, go up the top. You got all these different folders. So I'm just going to copy and paste all of these into my work folder. Copy, paste. And basically what these are is when you build a HTML website, you have when you use these templates, you have these pre-coded pages. But these pages by themselves are not going to do too much. It's just HTML. You need things to plug in to do different stuff. So here you got your CSS, basically your styling, your fonts, your images, your JavaScript, media elements. This could be maybe a video, some different things. On our theme, there is no video, but for some of these other themes, they do have like videos when you first click on at the very top section, or maybe in the actual page itself. And your PHP. This is generally your contact form that when you send an email from the website, or I guess when somebody who uses your website sends an email through a contact form or through an inquiry form or something, the PHP is just going to basically email that out to either yourself if it's your website or your client if you're building a website for someone else. So once we have this set up, we want to have a look at the different HTML pages. And I've actually forgot which exact one we're using, architecture one, but what I'm looking for is the name of that folder or that file. So just go back in here, go down to the one we're using. Keep in mind this is a one page and it's the architecture. Sometimes it will say what the name of the file is up here. On this one it doesn't, so we're just going to have a look and see what it probably is. So if I go down index design, I'm looking for the architect page. So here I got four different ones for architect. Sure. And you can see that one of these is a one page. These other three ones are the multi-pages that are, if I go back, that are up here in the top somewhere. So these three multi-page ones that we're not going to touch today, we'll just use this one page one. So you basically just want to copy this and bring it across. And I recommend not clicking and dragging stuff because if you make a mistake, if you delete some code, it's nice to be able to quickly go back and just grab it off the original that you know works correctly. So what I'm using to test this, to build it, and basically play around with it offline is this program called Brackets. Brackets is just basically a text editor. It's quite nice. I use it on the Mac, but I believe it's free for Windows as well, different systems. So you want to go in and you want to open up the folder we're using. So basically go to my desktop. I can see here I got the actual theme folder that we downloaded here. and I got this Jeff construction, which is our fictional folder, our fictional job that we're using, and it's this work folder. So if I go ahead and open it up, you can see all these different files here. At the moment, bracket says open nothing up, but when I click on this, it's now opened up the HTML. And if I wanted, I could also go in and have a look here at the CSS files. There's quite a few here, but this HTML is only connected to one or two of these. I'll show you in a second. And you got your fonts, you got your images. Again, I'll go into this in more detail in a few moments. You got your PHP, and you got your JavaScript. So all your kind of basics are here. This HTML page, it plugs back into these. So for example, you can see here on the CSS that it's plugging into, and I don't know if that's the correct term, it's just the term that I use. It's connected to the CSS folder and the core min and the skin architecture one page. So if I go to my CSS folder here, I'm just basically following these paths. I got my core min, so if I want, I can double click this and it's going to open it at the top. And if I go back here, so let me open this at the top too. I've got my skin architecture one page, so which is here. Skin architecture one page. Wow. All right. Took a few seconds. So these other CSS files that we're not using, we could delete those. They don't matter for us anymore with this particular website that we're building. They're for the other themes that we didn't download. All these pages are different, the pre kind of themes. So all their CSS styling is going to be slightly different. That's why they have so many folders here. You don't have to worry about it. The only two that we're going to use are these two. And we're actually going to only use one of these. So if you look at the core min, the way this file is set up, the people who designed this theme, they're not planning on you editing anything here. So they've compressed this file down to save space. It looks quite intimidating. You don't need to go near it. You can just leave it. Maybe when you're more advanced, you've done this a few times, there might be some stuff you want to change in here. For now, if we needed to change things in CSS, the only one we have to kind of concern ourselves with, I'm going to make this a little bigger, is this one here, which is the main CSS style sheet that this is plugged into. And you can see with this theme, they've given you nice little kind of categories here, so you can roughly find where something is. And maybe in this video or in other videos, I'll show you how to quickly go in here and edit different stuff. But for now, let's focus on the website that we're building on this HTML page. So when we download this, it has this name, architecture one page. This is just to help you identify it from all those different choices. When you actually want to host this, for the hosting to correctly use it when you go to that domain, you want to just delete this name and keep it as just index.html. So when you do this, when you upload it, I'll show you in another video, it just means that GoDaddy or whatever else you're using, they can correctly direct your domain, your website.com, to this folder as your opening folder, the first page that you want people to land on. So that's pretty important, is to set this up as index.html. Now, if I go here, this is just going to give you a live preview of what this page looks like right now. And you can see it's offline as well. This is all on my computer. It's not hosted online at the moment. So the style at the moment, the style is still the same, and the text is the same too, but what's missing is these images. So when we download this theme, I'm just going to reload it to keep the style good. When we download this, some themes will give you the images from the original style or the original preview that you see online. Other themes are going to take away the images, and they'll just give you blank images that you can edit yourself. So for this one, they've taken away the images. You can see here it's the exact same text and style, but these images are gone. So this image here, they're now these blank images. Basically setting it up for you to go ahead and edit it later. The same with this text. Maybe you already noticed this when we were looking at it earlier, but this is just called blank text. It's basically text they use. It doesn't really mean anything. It's actually Latin. but it's just there to show you kind of what it would look like with real text. Sometimes they put in these headings that are correct, like about this thing here, but as it gets further down into smaller text, they usually just fill it out with these blank text. You know, these have real reviews, but again, we have blank text here, we got blank text, and blank images. So this thing at the moment, it's pretty much set up. I mean, if you wanted to, obviously there's no images here, there's no proper text, but you could just upload these files from the work folder to your hosting, and this website would technically work right now. It would look like this, it would look terrible, but it would work. So kind of your first thing that you want to do when you download this is, you know, go ahead and change out these images. You know, some people do the text first, whatever. For me, I like to start with the images. So I'm going to go back here, and we're finished with this pretty much. I'm going to go back here to my HTML theme, and I'm going to have a look through. So for this top section, this is your header. Well, actually, technically this is your header, but this is the top section of your page, and this is the first writing here, you know, the main writing that you're going to see when you load this page. So if you go in here, and this is other stuff, I'll touch on this later, but you want to go down and you're looking for, this is all kind of menu stuff. Actually not going to pass it. Cool, so here we go. We have the end of our header, which again is this top section, generally your menu. And we have our first section here. So this is built with block code. What I mean by that is everything is kind of in these blocks. And if I make this a little smaller, you can see when I click this, it's this block. When I click this, it's this block. And if I go down and I click here, it's the next block. And then even in smaller ones, you have these divs, which again are just kind of blocks of code. And you can see, oh, maybe not in this one, but you can see here that this is getting smaller each time. And then eventually you just have your text box, your header, and this is just the span, which is this number 2. So to go back up here for our original thing, you basically just have to find your text in this HTML. And that's generally shown through either these H1, H2, H3 tags and your P tags. The P is basically just like a paragraph, and a H1 is generally a header. They use this code so the website or Google or whoever can identify it as being important. H stands for header, so it's showing it's like the identifier to a certain section, to a certain topic, to a certain paragraph. So for here we have this name of the theme. We're doing Jeff Construction. So for example, if you wanted, you would change this to Jeff Construction. And he's probably not based in Paris, New York, and London. So maybe you're going to have, for me, I do a lot of websites for Canada, so maybe it's going to be Edmonton, Canada. And you're basically changing this. If I reload it, at the moment it's highlighted just because that's the text I'm editing. And now it's back to the same style. And I mean, okay, this is his name. You don't have to copy it exactly. You could also have like a kind of bit of sales here, like the #1 construction company in Canada, or the right construction choice, or whatever. But basically, you're just slowly going through this website. You're changing all this text, and you're changing all these images, and you're just building a website, you know, using what's here already. So for this, we've changed the text, and our next stage would be maybe to change this background, this background image. So this guy does construction. Maybe, you know, sometimes a client will have some images to give you from their own projects. If not, you know, sometimes they go, I just grab these off Google. So I'm basically looking for a big file size here, and I kind of like this picture. So let's have a look at this. Cool, this looks pretty good. Maybe this is something that is suitable for the client that you're doing it for. Just going to go ahead and save this desktop. Cool. And obviously I don't have rights to use this. I'm just using this as an example. If you're building a real website, you should get images that you have rights for, or images directly from the client. But this is just for demonstration. I'm not actually going to host this. Cool. So I've got this image here that I like. Delete this back down. And basically, I'll need to know where this image is. So I have a pretty good idea. If I go in here, it's going to be probably in the images section. And these are, again, different folders for different themes or different pre-set up websites that come with this one theme. For us, I mean, we're doing this architecture one, so it's probably in the architecture. From here on out, I can guess from doing these before it's in slider, but let's say you didn't know, which you're not going to know your first time doing this. You want to go in, so this is the section again, and we're basically looking for where this image is at. So I'm looking for an image file path here, somewhere here it is. So I've got images, architecture, slider, slider 5, FS. So I'll just downside this a little bit. And here we go. So I'm in the architecture folder already, so let me go back again just to show you. Images, architecture, slider, and it was slider 5 FS. So with some pictures, this one's a little different to your usual pictures. With some pictures, you have two different sizes. So you can see here, this is slider 5 FS, this is slider 5 FS double size. And basically what that is, if you're looking at this on a monitor, nice and big, you want a high definition picture. But if you got someone looking at this on their phone, it's a lot smaller. You don't want for them to have to load that huge picture. It's going to slow down their loading time, and it's probably going to annoy them a little bit. It's a little excessive. They don't need it. So what they've done is they've put in two different images here at two different sizes. And basically in the code, you don't have to worry about this for right now, but in the code, it's telling the website when you're below a certain size monitor, like a phone or a tablet, to load a different picture that's just the smaller size. So for us, you want to open up the bigger one first, and I'll show you why in a moment. And if you need to check which one the bigger one is, I mean, it's going to be this 2x1, but you can change the way you're looking at this. And let me have a look here. So usually it'll show the dimensions. This one doesn't, but we can still see by this is 68 and this one is 33. So this one's the bigger one. And if I go back here, I'm going to open this with Photoshop. Cool. So this is basically the image opened up. Through the original file path, we haven't changed this file path. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to click and drag this image, and I'm just going to scale it to the size that we're using. So this looks pretty nice. One thing about a header photo, like a photo at the top of your website, is you got text that's going over the top here, and it's white text. So at the moment, this image is probably a little bit too bright. If we put white text over this, it's going to be hard to read that text, and the image is kind of taking away from the message that you're trying to put across, which is whatever writing you have here. So you want to make this image a little bit darker. If I go in here, adjustments, exposure, just kind of bring it down, maybe about there. Cool. So I'm actually happy with this right now. There's not too much editing to do with this picture. I'm going to go ahead and save it. You can see here it's got the original file name, but this ending is incorrect. It's a Photoshop file. So you want to change that back to the original setting, which for us was JPEG. And now, because there's already one there, it's trying to make a copy. So delete that copy. And you're going to replace that file. Cool, so that's done. But we have two of these pictures. So there's one for the smaller size. So we want to go ahead and open this too. Again, in Photoshop. Because we already have our image here the way we want it, these are the same exact ratio. We can just click and drag the last image, and it's going to be perfectly sized. It's going to be the same darkness, and we can save this one as well. JPEG, delete this copy, replace. Compression's full, but we can compress these later. Maybe not in this video. Again, another video. Cool. So there's two files right now. They've both been changed to the image we want. And if we go back to our website, so if we go back to brackets here, click the live preview, make this a little bigger and close down the one we were using before. Cool, we got our image here, we got our name, Jeff Construction, and this is looking pretty good. Let me close down this. This is the top of our website, and nice, we're getting there. You know, it's a good kind of intro photo, this text, and this is what I was talking about. You want the image nice and dark so that the text kind of pops out, it draws your eye. A good image is important, but you don't want it to be overwhelming. You can use full contrast images down here. Again, with this one it's got about, so maybe not full contrast, but here there's no text that you got to worry about, so you can just put in a full image. You don't have to darken it if you don't want to. But for this header, this top section above the fold, they call this, a nice dark image that doesn't take away some nice clean simple text here. You're not going to write too much. This is just to get their interest. And yeah, that's pretty much this section done. We would have to change this. I mean, this is the original logo, or let's check what file this is. So I'm pretty sure this is a logo file. You don't want to keep that in. So if I go up the top here, keep in mind this is in the header section. So with HTML, I mean, if it's further down the page, you just go down the code. If it's up the page, you generally go up the code. So go up the top here, a lot of different stuff in here. But here we go. So you can see the two different ones, and they have two different files here that are pretty much the exact same size, but they're different colors. The reason for that is, at the moment, if I load this page, it's on a dark background, so they have this white image, and as I move down, it goes dark. So they got two different files for this with different colors for different backgrounds. Again, you just go into the images, architecture, and these logo files. You'd open those up with Photoshop, and you put in whatever logo, or you could write up your own logo or name that you want to use. Generally, you want to keep all these images the exact same size. So for here, it's you can see there, I can't scroll exactly on it, but 250 by 36 pixels. Right above where my mouse is right now. You want to keep it to that style. If you change the style too much, it's going to start affecting the template, and it might throw stuff out. Again, as you get a little bit more experience, you kind of get a feel for how to do that, how to play around with the code. But if you're starting off as a complete beginner, you don't want to edit too much stuff. So for now, you know, making this up, you're going to go through, you're going to change all your text to whatever is most suitable for this client or for yourself, and you're going to slowly change all these images as well. You're going to work down through this. So let's say you get to this section, and this guy, he's got 3 staff, but you know, they don't have a Twitter page, they don't have a Vimeo page, they probably are not going to link, maybe, but probably not an Instagram page. So let's say each person just wants to link to their Facebook and to their LinkedIn. So we're going to find this section, which is in the architect section. A quick trick for finding a section is to go into your code, Control Find, which is Control F on a Mac, and you're just going to paste this word. And just to double check, if I click here, cool. So it's highlighting this section, which means I'm in the right place. So in the code here, you can see on this, if I click here, it's highlighting here. You can see that this is this section for this Sarah whatever character. And I want to use these two same ones for these two people. So this is pretty easy. I'm going to copy this menu. I'm going to bring it down to the next person, and I'm just going to replace, and the same with the third person I'm going to replace. And these are a links, so it's a link to an external page. And I'd go ahead, you know, when I had their details, and I'd punch in whatever their Facebook, for now it's just blank, but I'd punch in whatever their Facebook link is, the same for LinkedIn. And on something like this, when people click this Facebook, you probably don't want them leaving the website. You want it to open up in a new tab. So a quick way to do that would be you put in a target and blank. And what that means is, and you put this in for each one of these, it means that when someone clicks this, it's going to open up a fresh tab here with the Facebook page. It's not going to redirect them off this website, especially for a client. And if you have your own business, you don't want people to come to your website. You know, maybe you've used ads, maybe you've used some other form, you've put all this effort into getting people on the website, and then you have 6 clicks that people are just going to leave. It's kind of a bad idea. So if you do link out to external pages, you should usually have it as you know, a target tag, which opens up a new tab. You want to have your website staying open here. So moving further down, we got this. Again, in the beginning of the video I said I don't really like these things. I think they're kind of stupid, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this as well. So if I go down to the next section, which is here, and then again this box. So they have this project counter, and they have this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this whole box, and I'm going to see if it affects the style of this page. So without this, it looks a little bit strange. I mean, it's kind of missing something here because I deleted it. So let's see if we can make that look a little bit better. So if I look at this div, which is this whole box, it's 12 wide. And if I look at this div, which is this box, it's 5 wide. So let's see if this works. If I change this to 9, cool, now it goes the whole way across and just looks a little bit better, kind of balances that. The design is a little bit cleaner. And let's say this text is a little bit small, I want to add in, you know, an extra paragraph. Pretty easy, just copy this paragraph, come down here, paste another paragraph. Cool, so you know, now I can fill in a nice little section here. And you know, maybe I want to link out to something here. So I could also put in an A tag, what I just showed you here. Target blank, finish this tag. With brackets, it automatically closes the tag, which is this. So you want to just move that to here. And I haven't put in any website here, but let me just show you actually. So www.google.com. We're not going to link to Google on a real website, but just to give you an idea of how this works. Something's gone wrong. Google target blank. So I'm going to go in here and just copy this correctly with the HTTPS. Close this down, just reload this. So in the styling at the moment, you can't really tell this is a link. You'd have to go into your CSS. You got to style this to basically show that this is clickable, but here you go. I mean, it's going to click out. I'm in Colombia, so it's got the CO, but it's going to click out to a page. So maybe you could set this up for different things. You're also going to have to style it to show that this is a link, probably with a different color, or underline it or something. Anyway, continuing on. Here we have, remember these projects from before, which are down here. Again, this is just a case of going in, changing these images and changing the text. Sorry, a little bit of background noise here. I got a plane flying overhead. And remember we said this view details thing, it does nothing. So if I click this, it just goes back up to the top, which means it's like a blank link. It's not linking to anything. So you obviously don't want something on your page that's going to link to nothing. This view details, I'm just going to change that to contact us. So if I go into the HTML here, I need to check 2 things. So one, I want to see this contact section, which is here. I want to find out what the ID of this section is, which is probably just contact, but let's check. So if I search for the contact section, here we go, it says contact. So this is kind of like an internal link on a page, this ID. You can also use it for styling and different stuff, but they're using it here as an internal link. And if I go back up the top to the menu and I show you the contact, which is this, you can see here that they're using that contact and the hashtag. They're using that to link internally on this one page. So I'm going to find this section here that we want to change, which is this view details. So again, view details. And there's 2 of these because there's 2 different pages. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. Cool. So I want to change this to go to the contact thing. So if I put contact here, and I put contact on the link for this one, but obviously it's not view details, it's something else. So for here, I'm just going to put contact us, and again for here, contact us. If I reload this, it looks like it works anyway. Cool, someone sees this project, they like it, they want to contact them, contact us. It goes to here. Now, one thing you see is it didn't scroll. It just like went instantly there with no nice kind of scrolling down effect like this, which means we're missing whatever system they're using to scroll nicely. So if I click services, you can see this thing it's moving nice. But if I go down here, click this, it just goes straight away. So we got to see what they're using to do that. So if I go back up the top here, you can see here class scroll link. Basically, I want to take this class and I want to bring it down to the links that we just used. Control find. Contact us. Here we go. This is the link. Here's the class. So I can't just go like this because that's two classes. They already exist, a class. I need to just drop it in here like this. Oh, close that. Just by itself. And I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to put it in here as well. And let's test that this works. Hopefully it does. Contact us. Sweet. Nice. Cool. So what would be left to do on this site? Starting from the top, we got these images. We already know how to change the text, how to change these images, testimonials. I showed you the icon here up the top, or the logo, whatever you want to call it. Again, this is just images. We're going to put in our Facebook and LinkedIn links for these clients. We have our target tag, so it's going to open a new page. We have this section. These are going to be projects. We're going to put in the background picture to contact us. These are other projects. Again, you just got to find these image files, change out the images, and you got a little bit of text here as well. So when you change those images, let me show you this. So Bunker Berlin, Bunker. This is the image that pops up. So you have this section. Let me downsize this. You got this section, and in this section you have this first image. When you click this first image, it's set up as a link. You're opening up this other image. So if I click here, it opens up this image. They're not the same image. Even if it looks the same when you change both of these, it's two different files. So you have the smaller sized image. When you click in, you have the bigger sized image. So this is the smaller size image, and you can kind of get a hint towards that. I mean, it says thumbnail here, so it's kind of a smaller thing. And when you click in, you got this bigger image, which is a link, a lightbox link. In the lightbox link, you have here data caption Bunker Berlin. So we're going to change that to, Jeff's project. I don't know, swimming pool, whatever this guy built. Obviously that's terrible writing, but whatever you're going to put in there. And I need to reload this. When I click in here, okay, I got Jeff's swimming pool project, whatever. Cool. It's going to be the same for all of these. So when you change this, again, just like our image up the very top, you want to change the bigger image first, have that edited the way you wanted, and then drop it back into this image, into the thumbnail image, which is smaller. And then you have the same image with the same styling, the same coloring, and it's going to be suitable for both with the definition. You always want to start with the bigger definition photo first and drop it into the smaller one. If you do it the opposite, this one will be high definition, but when you click in, because you put it in a bigger box, it's going to be lower definition. It's going to look not as good. Cool, so that'll be that section. We got this contact section. Maybe you're going to have a picture of Jeff here, or his workshop, or his trucks, or him in a project, whatever. You got this email address and his phone number and his address. And at the bottom you got this. I mean, for him, he's probably not going to have news. He might have visited us and he might have an about. So let's have a quick look at this. This is called your footer as well. So if you go down here to the very bottom, sign up. So, you know, this isn't here in the code, this is something else. I'm actually just going to delete this. In your footer you have 4 different sections. I'm going to take out this new section. I don't actually like it. It's something that, you know, he's going to have to update. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. You need to link this to different pages. It's kind of like a blog or something. For us, for this type of job, it's not really needed. So I'm going to go in here to the new section and I'm going to delete this whole section, which you can see, this is the div. You can see it highlighted a little bit. Go ahead and delete this. We're left with 3. So 3, again, it doesn't look proper. It's kind of off a little bit. So I'm going to find the about, and how this works, it's using a format here that's dividable by 12. So if I bring back the box I just deleted, you can see it's 3, 3, 3, 3, and I'm Irish, so it's not 3. It adds up to 12. So when I delete this, it's 9. So it's only going across, you know, it's not going across the full way. So what I can do is I can make this a 6, and that's going to add back up to 12. So 3, 6, and 3 is 12, and now it's back to full size. If I load it, this box is gone. It just looks visually better, it looks nicer. And down the bottom here you have this link back to the original theme. But obviously if you build your own website, you want to promote your own brand, you can go in and delete this. So maybe, I don't know, whatever you want to write here. So for me, www.foxeswebdesign, which is a website I'm making right now, basically teach people web design, and I would change it something like this. And maybe I'll link to my, you know, my Facebook group here, and I don't have a Twitter, but whatever else I have here. So that's pretty much it for now. There's a few other things a little bit more complicated. I might show you in different videos. One would be how to make this into a clickable link. So you can, you know, if you're browsing this on a phone, you can just click on this and it will dial the number straight away. With this as well, you can make it so when people click on this, it will open up their email system on their phone or on their computer. They can email directly without having to copy and paste this stuff. Excuse me, but we're pretty much there right now. If I was building this, the only thing left to do would be to write up all these different sections, to put them in place, and change out all these images, and change this as well, which you've already gone over. The only thing left to do would actually be up here. So you can see at the top of the page, it has a Satyr multi-purpose 5 thing. So if I go up to the very top of this theme, you can see this writing, and that's called your title tag. And there's some different stuff here as well. So for this guy, you obviously don't want this name here, whatever you're building. So you'd go ahead and you'd put in, you know, Jeff Construction Edmonton, which city in Canada. Cool. It's got this. It's got this fab icon, which is basically the name for this guy. You want to change that as well. I mean, same thing again. You want to go in, find this file path, open this up in Photoshop and change it. An ICO, sometimes it's an ICO file. I prefer a PNG file, which, you know, is a transparent file. So when you resave this in Photoshop, it's your choice. But for me, I resave it as a PNG. I just find it a little bit easier. I mean, an ICO, kind of the correct way to do it. And for some sites I will. For this, like a basic site, I just do it as a PNG. I'll go into that again in more detail, maybe in another video too. Then for here, you got different things. So this is your page description. This is the image of, if you save this on Facebook, this is the image when you put the link in, it will populate, you know, an image to show people what you're sharing. Again, you want to change all these. So you want to find out what Facebook image preferred size is, like the ratio they like to use. Go create an image in that size, and then you're going to save it here under whatever file path. Same for this. I mean, well, this one you keep the same website. This one here you're going to change, and you can quickly Google this as well. And maybe I'll put a link in this YouTube video showing you some information on how to to do this correctly, these OG kind of tags, how to go through and edit those. But for now, that's pretty much it. This is real basic HTML setup. You're not changing the theme itself, you're just editing, you know, what's provided there. Maybe changing some small stuff like the links, but you're not doing anything crazy. In future videos, I'm going to show you how to change different sections, make it multi-page, do some SEO stuff, optimize the image file sizes, different stuff, and also how to upload it, get it on GoDaddy, and maybe some other things as well. We'll see what happens. For now, this is good. I'm going to put a lot of links in the description, show you guys kind of the different things that I just used to build this, and also some kind of handy tools, links that I think you'll find useful. One link that you probably will find useful, this is a forum that I post on a lot, the Fastlane forum, and I've actually got a little thread here going, showing you how to, you know, how to build these things for clients, how to find clients, how to price your jobs, basically how to make money building these HTML websites. And you know, this is up to 21 pages at the moment. A lot of good information here, and other people have come along, including the guy who owns this website, MJ DeMarco. He's a pretty famous author of The Fastlane Millionaire, which is a great book. He's put some great advice in here too. So I'll link to this as well. A lot of good advice here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you got any questions, just obviously comment below. I'll try to get back and answer them the best I can. Cool.